Welcome to this video, a 15 minutes game. And what should I play? Is it like a pert? Bishop g7, f4. Let's do this. F9, f6, f6. It's like the Austrian attack. c5 and castles. I think are the main moves. So I play bishop d3, I guess. Maybe e5. Maybe I should have played e5 before. Is bishop e3 a move here? Or maybe d5? After bishop e3, bishop knight g4, I need to play bishop g1. He might take on d4 then, and after knight d4, play something like knight c6 maybe. There's something wrong with d5. Let's do this and grab some space. I wonder if I should castle short or long. I think long castle is just taking too much time, you know. It's like 3 moves away. And he might open up the position rather quickly. Yes, indeed. So I think I castle short. If he takes on d5, I will take back with my pawn. And after bishop g4, I play maybe h3. But still the question remains what to do with a bishop on c1. Maybe I can maneuver the bishop to d2, e1, something like this. Okay, normally the automatic move is a4 here to avoid b5. Is it a drawback if really he plays, let's say he plays b5? No, I want to avoid this, so let's play f4. So I expect him to play bishop g4 now. If he allows me to do so, I would love to play the knight from f3 to c4. Like f3, d2, c4. Problem is bishop g4, and that's all a bit annoying. So maybe I should play h3 and then do this maneuver. And to avoid b5, I might also play a5. So after a b5, I can take a b6 en passant and then maybe the knight on c4 is even better, because it cannot be attacked by pawns later on. Okay, this is the last idea is not possible anymore. And as you can see, I guess black wants to play bishop b7 to attack the pawn on d5. So I guess maybe it's good to put the bishop on c4 later on. I'm just too late with knight d2. Otherwise, let's say I would have already played knight d2, I could play knight c4, and after bishop e7, maybe bishop e2 and bishop f3, but now this just takes too much time. So what to do with the bishop on c1? I can play like bishop d2 with the idea to put the bishop later on to c3, or to put the bishop on e1 and h4. And after bishop e7, is there something that I can attack him later on with f5 maybe? Pawn push f4, f5. I don't know, but certainly I need to improve the position of this bishop here, and I think bishop e3 is a bit loose, might be attacked, so let's play bishop d2. The nice thing though is that this knight on b8 doesn't have a good square, so even after knight b7 can't jump to e5 or something, so this is good. He might play queen c7 and push for c4, so I need to have a b3 option available. Then I need to take care about this diagonal, that this knight is protected, and that I might also lose exchange on a1. Maybe I already need to play h3, because after bishop e1 there might be also knight g4 threatening to jump to e3. It might be supported by rook e8, and this is a bit annoying. So here I think the only move is bishop c4. And here he might play b5 anyways, so take e8, bishop a8, and then I take on b5, but he can take on d5. So maybe bishop e1 just putting the bishop on h4 anyways later on, and then queen d2. Is there a problem like bishop e1, knight g4, queen d2, he can't jump, then rook e8, then I play bishop h4, attack the queen, and then I play rook e1. I think I do this. I'm just right in time. So now the queen also protects d5, so this trick with b5 doesn't work. I thought he could have played b5 one move earlier. If I take, rook a8, queen a8, I will lose this pawn. So he loses this one, I will lose this one. The bishop on h4 might be a little bit annoying for him. So yeah, as expected, but the question is now if I should play queen d2 or queen d3. Makes it different. I think I play queen d2 to be more flexible. Well, I overlooked that he might play queen to e7 now. But then I play bishop h4, and after queen e3 I have just a rook move to e1, and I can take back on d4, d2 with the knight on f3. So still this works, I guess. So I'm one move away from playing bishop h4 here, and his knight doesn't have that many squares here. But f5 is also a good square. But like, if I play h3, he needs to go h6, and then I play g4, threatening g5. Isn't that good for me? Come on, let's do this. So I gain Spain on the space on the king side, and I threaten g5, and maybe I'll have bishop h4 also. So he needs to retreat maybe with the knight. But this knight on h6 looks a little bit silly now. So I can play bishop h4, maybe even bishop g3, with the idea to play f5 later on and attacking the d6 pawn with the bishop. But bishop h4 might also be good. So for the time being he needs to do something here with the knight, because g5 is a real threat. So yeah, he needed to retreat. So what should I do? Knight h4, bishop h4. If he wants to weaken himself with f6, I think this is not a good idea, because this diagonal gets open also. And I can use the e6 square maybe for the rook here. Okay, let's gain some time. And I have another idea. What about knight g5 later on? So whenever he plays f6 or f5, I have knight e6, and this is a monster knight. So if he wants to get his knight back into the game, he needs to play something like king h8 and knight g8. But after this I might also play f5, although I'm not thrilled about it, because the square e5 would be very weak then, so he can jump with his pieces to e5. And the drawback of knight g5 is also like something like bishop d4 maybe, and so I'm not that sure about it. Maybe I just put the a rook on the e file first, because it's a good square for the rook anyways. I have another idea, something like bishop e7, putting pressure also on d6. So what happens after knight e4? So after knight e4 I threaten to take on d6, and I threaten to play something like bishop e7 and d6. But if the rook e8, yeah, well, now I can just win the d6 pawn. I wonder why he played this that quick. Isn't it just winning the d6 pawn? So let's say bishop e7, rook e8. I take on d6. This is a way that he can attack my bishop on d6. It doesn't have that many squares. he needs to move the knight, let's say to f6. And I'm lacking a little bit of squares. So again, bishop e7, rook e8, bishop takes d6, knight f6. I would like to have my rook on e1 then. So maybe I play rook e1, rook a e1, and then I threaten bishop e7 again. And he can't play bishop f6 because of a g5. But knight a5. I think this works. I have another idea. I can play maybe rook e1 first. And maybe I move too quick because knight e4 would be also a nice move, right? Although bishop b2, he might also just play knight f6. And then he sacrifices his exchange and a knight on g4. And he might even get 3 pawns for the knight, right? Knight g4 takes, a queen takes, it's the check, and then I cannot play queen g2 because of queen f4. Maybe I just need to go away to h1. Yeah. Alright, I don't take that one. I think I take d6 here and attacking this rook. The pawn on d6 was really a good pawn to have for black because it protected the square e5. I can use the square e5 now for my pieces. So knight e5 is very, very strong. Maybe I just play knight e5 now. This looks a bit like desperation. If he really wants to take on c3 with his bishop later on, he gives me the dark squares around his king. Okay, taking ones is certainly not a problem. And after knight b5 I have queen knight a7 also. The queen doesn't have that many squares. I didn't consider this move. Maybe it's good. So what to do? Bishop b3 is out of question. He just plays c4. If I play b3, I need to take a little bit care about this diagonal, but I mean, I have such a good position. I can give him the exchange. I mean, I win back the exchange anyways. However, after b3, rook d8, there's still more pressure on d5. So I can't... I'll have to play rook 81 then, right? I don't like that position here of the pieces, how they... especially the knight. Isn't there the problem with this move? Because I can play bishop e8 now. And if he takes with the queen, I can just take here, and the position is extremely good for me. Maybe also b takes a6 first. Maybe I should have played this before. But I can play it now. Although I force him maybe also to take here. And in the end, is it good or bad for me? Oh, it's good for me. I can take with the knight, win 2 pieces for the rook. And I'm material up anyways. So at the moment I have a rook and a pawn. And after taking one of my pieces, I think I'm just a whole piece up, right? So the sacrifice on g4 was a bit premature, I think. Yeah, I think that game is over. Maybe he needs to take on b5 also. So he wins exchange back, but then he's still material down. Yeah, I think this is the best move. After bishop b5, takes on b8, I take on g4, he takes on d5 with his knight. If I take the knight, he might take on a1 with his bishop, and I take back, and later on another rook d8 or something, on more pressure on the d5 piece. But I also have c4, maybe support later on with d1 and have some moves like knight f6 or knight e7 check also. This might be also an idea. So I take here. So it's the same situation like before. Then if he retreats the knight, I have bishop d6 or bishop e5, which looks really good. So I will be rook up, so it doesn't matter if I even lose a piece or if I give him the exchange on a1. Well, I didn't expect this move. Yes, he will win back a pawn on d5. But this looks really scary, I think, for him. Okay, I have no choice. Knight d5. He wants to go to e3, right? So let's say I play queen d2. He might play knight g to e3. So maybe it's better to keep the queen on the long diagonal, something like queen b2. Huh. Here's queen h3 later on, so I need to address this. So I need to have my queen on the king side, I think. So let's play this one. And then I have a queen h2 also. I give him the exchange on f1. And I will retreat my bishop to e5. And maybe I can play something like f5 also. And then queen h6 to use the black squares around the king, which are weak. Yeah, knight g e3 I expect. Maybe I have c4 also later on, but I think he can just take on f1. So queen h3. But it's just winning a pawn. And whether he checks or not, I go with the king to h1 and maybe with the queen later to h2. Yeah. And I will play bishop e5 next. Okay, here I take on g4. So I need to take care about the bishop on b5, which is a little bit loose. So if he moves the knight on d5, he threatens bishop f3 now. But I might just play bishop c4. Bishop c4. Yeah. Is knight h3 a threat? Not really, right? I just go here. I need to keep the queen around my king. Yeah, this is why I play queen h2 now. So if he moves the knight, I can exchange queens. And I might play bishop f7 now, with the idea of knight g5 and queen f4, just simplifying everything and still being a rook up. So knight f7 now is a move I want to make. Doesn't work anymore. Although, bishop f7, king f7, knight g5. It's still working, right? I need to keep the knight normally on f3 because of a queen d4 check. But I think I have the time to play bishop f7, right? Although maybe he just moves his king to h8 then. So I really don't want the queen to be on d4. So I play c3, I guess. And then everything is still hanging, you know? So knight g5, which I like to do, is maybe just better for queen d4. But queen d4, rook f2, he can take on f3. Queen d4, and I go here. Here's knight h3. Oh no. And I don't want to play rook d1 because he can just take. So let's play c3. Avoid all the nonsense on d4. So now I'm really threatening f7. Maybe I threatened it before, but I was not sure. I can maybe also play knight g5 immediately. Or what I can also try is at rook a e1. Just bring over the other rook. More pieces around my king, that the king feels safe. I mean, the knight here is a really good piece because it protects d2. It avoids that the bishop is eyeing on g2 and h1. So I'm not sure if I really want to jump with the knight to g5. Although if I'm really able to exchange this knight here on f4 by playing bishop f7 and knight g5 and queen f4, I think I do this. However, maybe he can put the queen to c6 then. But I have knight f3 afterwards. Okay, so this still works for me. And he's running low on time. Okay. Huh. And why can't I take on h6? whenever he moves the knight, I could... No, I can't take on g6, okay. Maybe I have knight d4 now. Knight d4. You know, just to exchange a little bit more. And he doesn't have queen c6 after knight d4. And I have many threats. I think I do this. Maybe I overlooked something. Their desperado move like knight e2. No, I still have knight f3 also all the time, right? So he's 10 seconds only, so he needs to move. Huh. Well, maybe I blundered that, because he has queen c6 now. And it was something I really wanted to avoid. But queen h6 doesn't work. He has queen g3. What about... I have rook f7, which looks really strong. And I will take the bishop here later on. Well, and isn't it here possible to take and then play queen f3? Exchange queens and I'm a rook up? I overlooked that he can take on f7, I'm so stupid. But here I think simply rook f3 is winning. Or rook a f7, even better. Then I threatened. f7, if he plays d3 then, however. If he plays d3, I have rook g7. King f8. Don't have time to calculate all this. I thought about g7 here and then rook g8 if he takes. No, I can't do that. I wanted to check here also. And after d3, yeah. But I don't want to allow him to move this pawn forward, so I think I just take it. taking by now on d4, and it's an easy win. Yeah, and he resigned. It was an interesting game. Thanks for watching.